During a recent event, former Attorney General Bill Barr, while sitting with a reporter from CBS News, he was at an event, he was up on stage, he's talking to him. The reporter asked him about Donald Trump and about, the things Trump says, the way Trump says things. It was kind of a deep dive into why Donald Trump behaves the way that Donald Trump does. And here's what Bill Barr had to say. His verbal skills are limited. He's not very disciplined with what he says. If you get him away from very, 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 the adjectives, they're unfamiliar to him and they spill out and he goes too far. Simple statement, right? Very short statement. It's kind of hard to read a lot into it. But what Bill Barr says in just that little bit of information tells us everything about the way that Donald Trump lies. I've read God knows how many quotes from Donald Trump here at Ring of Fire for years and years and years. And usually in these quotes that I read, he will say the same thing several times. Sometimes he just says a sentence and then repeats the same sentence. Sometimes he'll slightly reword it right after he already said it one way, then he'll say it another way. But the repetition is something that is very noticeable. It's very common. And the use of very, 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 I am very smart. I am very, very, very smart. I'm very, 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 very smart. And Biden is just so corrupt. Like just repetition, repetition, repetition. And Bill Barr is basically telling us that when we see this, that's how you know Trump is lying. Because he loses his words. All he can think of is to just say the same thing over and over, because while he's doing that, it's almost like his brain is on a delay. So his brain is like, okay, let me craft a new argument, and while I'm working on that, because I'm getting a little slow, you just say this thing over and over again, and then by the time you kind of catch your breath, I'll have a new argument for you that you then spit out. I mean, it happens to all of us who have to do this off the cuff every single day. I mean, I don't work off a teleprompter. I don't have anything written out for this. I have my notes and I just go. I don't know always where it's going to take me. Sometimes I have ideas mid-sentence. But Trump, on the other hand, he does it so he can lie. He does it as a stalling mechanism so he can come up with something to either make himself look better, to make his rivals look worse. And it all goes back to the repetition. As Bill Barr describes it, his very limited verbal skills. So once you start hearing that, once you hear him repeat the same phrase, once he starts using all those, adjectives and adverbs there, that, whether Bill Barr wanted to admit it this way or not, is how you know Trump is lying. Oh, and for the record, it is also worth noting that even though Bill Barr seems to hate Donald Trump and he speaks out against him at length as often as he can, Bill Barr still says that if Trump's the nominee, then by God, he'll be voting for him. So all of this means nothing. Doesn't matter how much you attack him, when in the very next breath you keep reminding us that you are still going to vote for him. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.